assumed with that broad of 12.3, which is 8 inches better than anything else we've ever seen here covering a combine on NFL Network. Assume the vertical would be good, right?
Yeah, it had to be 43 to 45 based on that.
And how about 44 and a half?
Wow. Watch where his feet ends up.
Oh my gosh, he keeps going
That is ridiculous, man.
Can't wait to watch him run the 40.
Man, and he hurt his shoulder. We only played 6 or 7 games, I think, this year because he had a season-ending shoulder injury. He's a guy that there's been a little buzz on. You got to go do some work on him because he's gifted genetically.
My name is Jason Pierre-Paul, University of South Florida.
The Asian sensation.
Defensive end.
Jason only played 1 season of major college ball, but the NFL loves his quickness and power.
Here's he throws.
Jason's explosion off the line helps him crush our censored heavy bag with over 2,600 pounds of force. In only a few steps, Jason hit the heavy bag harder than anyone else we've tested, and he's not even the biggest guy. Turns out the secret to his strength is back handsprings. All right, so you're about to do crazy backflips in pads.
In pads, so it's harder in pads.
Pads aren't his only obstacle. The average male Olympic gymnast is 5'4", 130. Jason's a foot taller and twice as heavy. His 81-inch wingspan is huge. And according to the proportions detailed in Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man, his arms are 2 inches longer than normal. He's not exactly built like a gymnast.
This is Jason Pierre-Paul. They named JPP doing the actual backflips on sports science.
3, 2, 1, go! Stop! Woo! Oh, that's amazing. Jason rotates his body around its center of gravity at a speed of 11 miles an hour. With every rotation, his feet and hands sustain forces of up to 3 times his body weight, over 800 pounds. And he can do this 23 times in a row. In less than half a minute, he's experiencing cyclic loading of almost 18,000 pounds of cumulative force. That means over 30 seconds, his hands, arms, and shoulders absorb more weight than the entire roster of the New Orleans Saints.
When I hit the back of the dome, I was like, wow, did that really just happen? I just looked up like, holy crap, that really just happened.
To be able to hit a ball that far, it's, even though it's an aluminum bat, but you know, it is amazing.
My son, my oldest boys, showed me on the internet. They had like little clips of him and stuff like that, and showing the ball that he's hit. I mean, it's amazing to be that young, to be able to have that kind of talent.
But the 502-footer is not Harper's longest. As a freshman last year at Las Vegas High School, Harper hit a home run his coaches measured at an astounding 570 feet.
It went over that tree, that green one, that big one, not the one on the right, but that one. And then went over that fence up top, and then about 5 lanes of traffic, and then a sidewalk.
So we're following the track of the ball here, mountain climbing. Came all the way across here, and then where did it hit? Show me the exact spot.
Pretty much like right here.
Well, you think you can hit a little further, right?
I think so. We'll see what happens. You know, hopefully I'll get bigger and stronger and have a better swing and hopefully hit a ball about 600 feet.
Here's an ESPN Sports Science breakdown of the staggering numbers that have earned Calvin Johnson the nickname Megatron. First, speed. Johnson clocked a 4.3540 time at the NFL Combine, as fast as 2010's fastest running back. Johnson's teammate and sports science test subject, Javid Best. In fact, Johnson's blazing 40 time is less than 3% slower than the all-time combine record of 4.24 seconds set by Chris Johnson, even though Megatron outweighs Johnson by 45 pounds. Next, jumping ability. Johnson's vertical leap is a reported 45 inches and his standing broad jump 11 feet 7 inches. If he had participated in those two events at the NFL Combine, he would have scored the third highest vert and the longest broad jump in the history of the Combine. Finally, reach. Johnson stands 6'5" with an estimated 6 foot 10 inch wingspan and a standing reach of 8 feet 8 inches. Combine that with his vertical leap and you get a maximum reach of 12 feet 5 inches, equal to the highest ever documented in the NBA, a record which is surprisingly held by Shaq. Add up all these measurables, and it means that from a standing start, Megatron can cover an area of about 4,000 cubic feet. That's the largest range we've ever analyzed, and more space than a typical two-car garage. For ESPN Sports Science, I'm John Brinkus. Aroldis Chapman's 105-mile-an-hour heater is the fastest pitch ever thrown. And that pitch wasn't a fluke. In 1 1/3 innings, Chapman threw 25 pitches, and every one of them was clocked at over 100 miles an hour. But how does he do it? Pitching coach Tom House has worked with some of the game's hardest throwers, including Nolan Ryan and Randy Johnson.
What you have here is a CC Sabathia upper body and a Randy Johnson lower body. That's why he throws 105 miles an hour.
First, his stride. The typical stride length for a pitcher is about 87% of his height, but Chapman's stride averages 120% of his 6'4" height, approaching 7.5 feet. His stride isn't just long, it's fast, taking only 0.8 of a second, 15% faster than average pitchers. Next, shoulder turn. The twisting angles between his front hip and his back shoulder create massive torque.
80% of velocity comes from hip and shoulder separation.
Elite power pitchers like Randy Johnson create angles of 40 to 60 degrees, but Chapman's is close to 65 degrees. Next, delivery.
The thing that separates him is a lot of pitchers could get to that, but how soon does it get to here?
The average pitcher uncocks his forearm in 7 to 9 hundredths of a second. Chapman's arm fires in less than 4 hundredths of a second. Average pitchers release the ball directly over the front foot. Chapman's release point, up to 12 inches in front of his foot, amplifies the difficulty of hitting him.
Not only does he throw hard, he throws close. 1 foot of distance is 3 miles an hour to the hitter's eyes. So not only on the real gun, 105, but you could almost add 3 more miles an hour to that. You may be looking at the hardest throwing individual that's ever been on this planet.
And when you're trying to hit the planet's fastest pitcher, there's virtually no time to think. Facing a 90-mile-an-hour pitch, a batter has 9 hundredths of a second to decide whether or not to swing. But if Chapman unleashes a 105-mile-an-hour missile, that window shrinks by 66%. The batter must make his decision in only 3 hundredths of a second. For Sports Science on ESPN, I'm John Brinkus.
Okay, moments ago in John Lott's weight and reps room, 225 is the pound, as the weight. And that's Stephen Paya of Oregon State.
Here we go.
Lifting.
We got a live one.
All day.
Lock it out.
All day.
Nice, nice. Good job, son. Good job.
Let's go. Rhythm, baby. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Nice. I like it. I like it. I like it. That's it, son. That's it, son. That's it, son. Nice. Nice. Under control. Under control. Good job. Good job. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. That's it, son. You keep coming. Now let's go to work. Ready. Up, up, up. That's it. Up. Come on. One by one. I don't care. One by one. Come on, pal. One by one, buddy. Come on, buddy. Up, 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 up. Ready. Get set. Up, 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 up. That's it. One by one. Up, 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 up. That's it. That's it. Here we go. Here we go. Up, up, up. Shoot this one.
That's a new
Booyah.
combine record at 49.
Hey! My man. There you go, Hoss. 49.
49 for Stephen Paya, 4 better than the record.